Hello, hello, hello. We have not planned anything great for Tap 100, unfortunately, other than say happy 100 episode Tap, I suppose. Deck, how are you? All good.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, congratulations. We made it.
Congratulations. Yeah, just
Yeah.
have ourselves in the back. I should have got one of those little party confetti things blown at the start and maybe had a few balloons.
Well, we'll just celebrate by going through the card.
You would just celebrate by backing 5 or 6 winners, doing what we usually do. I can't believe we've made it to 100 episodes.
I know,
It's
started like.
Look, it's been a good old journey, and we're gonna get to 200, I'd say, in no time, and maybe one time, maybe we'll even do 1,000. But just before we start, Deck, any favorite memories of your first 100 episodes? Take a pull.
Oh, well, look, it's obviously the winners are your favourites, aren't they? But like the likes of Jouster, and even the day Jouster fell is right up there. He's probably more famous for that on top than the day he won a short price. Like everyone still talks about that day that he fell at Fairyhouse.
Yeah, it's absolutely it's absolutely mad. The father is the one that's remembered. I know we've had some terrific days though. I suppose the Grand National Double probably takes the cake. That's one everyone keeps mentioning online. With I Am Maximus and Intense Raffles last year. A few other Tap legends who shout out to. Obviously, you mentioned Jouster. I suppose Dancing Jeremy deserves a shout out. Lance Tower, Captain's nephew. Lance Tower deserves a shout out. I suppose infamous Tap horses, but Must Go Now probably deserves a shout out.
Yeah.
Who else has mugged us off?
I'm sure there's been many that's mugged us off now.
There's been stacks that mugged us off. Yeah. What's his name? The McManus horse. From the novice chaser last year at Limerick.
No, the fella who forced at Nace.
Yeah, I can't even remember his name now. Wasn't Battle It Out. I think he runs on the weekend. It was
Verdun Place.
Verdun Place. Yeah, still waiting on him.
I got him one of the days.
Yeah, you did actually. Fair play. Oh, look, it's brilliant, and thank you, Deck, for putting up with me for 100 episodes. So we've delivered.
I suppose we need to mention Luke as well.
Absolutely, yeah,
100%. He jumped on when I was away, and he gave us a big dig out down in Philip Rothwell's that day. Yeah, a really good video. So
yeah,
thanks.
Thank you, Luke. Yeah, and all the anyone who's supported us, obviously, Philip Rothwell, Ian Donoghue, obviously Peter Rowe. We've had Owen McCarthy on as well. So yeah, no, fantastic. And we need to probably do a little bit better maybe with guests.
Yeah. And you, the listeners.
We better thank the listeners. I suppose that's what we can do. And anyone that says they love our work when we go racing, it's just one of my favorite comments out there. Love our work. Probably also I have to give a thanks to Punchestown as well. They're obviously very good to us as well.
I would say Punchestown and Fairyhouse are the
in particular,
standouts now. Like to show their appreciation towards us. Thanks very much.
And we appreciate them.
Yeah.
Right. So enough of tapping ourselves on the back. And now we're going to go into the racing deck. So Easter Monday. So Tap 99 is still up there. Obviously, Saturday's card got canned, but I'm pretty sure we'll have declarations. We might just pop over them at the end, but I wouldn't imagine too much has changed, bar the ground.
I've seen Cargeese is in the Ribo now.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what she's declared, but she got an entry anyway.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. We'll have a quick look over. Saturday's card is now obviously moved to Tuesday in case anyone has missed that. Don't Tell Jack, I suppose, is still the Napa Tap, assuming he's still declared. I believe he is. So we'll revisit that towards the end, but we'll move on, Deck, to the first race on Easter Monday as we record here on Easter Sunday. Fairyhouse, Farmhouse Foods Novice Handicap Hurdle over 2 miles is the opening race. A very competitive field of 19. couple out of the weights there, Weston and Ted's Corner. I believe are a couple, maybe 1 pound wrong. So due to Arch Empire's participation and Lindsay's participation on the very competitive deck.
Your mic's just got a little bit.
Mike's kind of bit okay. 1 second.
No, you're good now.
You're good, yeah. Sorry about that. Right. So 19 runners deck. Who do you fancy in the opener?
There's two I like here. There's a Spanish bred in here that got a couple of mentions before.
I was actually I like him as well myself.
Funnily enough, the two I like came down the last day, or unseated or fell. Kill One, he was going quite well in the Fred Winter. I thought when he unseated, he was placed 3 times in a maiden before that. Coming here with handicap experience now, I think he gave it a good go. And Stuntman Steve, he was going well when he fell on his handicap debut the last day. He is a maiden winner, so I'd have it between them.
Yeah, I quite like Kill One myself. I was interested. I thought Salisbury Hill, he's a nice 2-miler. Done it nicely at Eppersound. Yeah, I think he has a fair chance if he handles the ground as well. Wouldn't be 100% sure testing ground's going to be his cup of tea, but he's definitely not ruled out of this. Last Kingdom's been bitterly disappointing, I think, since kind of coming to Ireland. He just will not settle, and he won't win if he can't settle on this ground. Kill One and One Leg were the ones I were kind of looking at myself. I can't see Kill One being done progressing. One on the flat on his final start in October, beating Cafe Con Leche. And he ran in 3 decent enough maiden hurdles, 2 decent maiden hurdles and then a grade 3. And he wasn't done with. He definitely wasn't done with in the Fred Winter. Every chance he could have been placed at a big price, he came down to second last, or unseated as rider to second last. He would definitely have a chance. And as we say, Sons of Jeremy at Cool Companies, they tend to relish in testing conditions. So that's, another positive there. One Leg was 5th in a point-to-point on his debut over, it was basically his first ever run. Was well beaten, but then came back to win at Roscommon. First start in a 4-year-old maiden hurdle. So that's usually a sign of a nice enough horse. He was well beaten by Pinot Gris on his next start in the Fishery Lane, but you'd be hard pressed to say 118 is the bottom of his ability, or basically absolute top of his ability. So he's one that could go well after a long break. But I'm gonna side with Kill One myself. I think he's a fair enough each way chance. And yeah, I don't think 120 is the ceiling of his ability either. Right deck, onto the O'Driscoll's Irish Whiskey Juvenile Hurdle, grade 2, over 2 miles. Not a bad field here again, but these juveniles on soft ground or very, very testing ground, it can get that little bit more difficult. 7 going to post. Who do you fancy here?
Well, look, obviously Blue Lemons deserves a mention. He did beat Kill One on soft ground at Gowran, but he was pulled up in the Triumph. Maybe didn't handle the ground there, and I just don't like backing horses that have been pulled up last time out. So I'll take a chance on It's Bilbo. He was ahead second at Limerick. Castle Heat was 14 lengths behind. That form will put him ahead of a few of these, and he was 5th in the grade 2 at Christmas. So I think he could. I think he give it a good go.
I'm going to side with Wendrock here for Gordon Elliott and Sam Ewing. I thought this horse ran a very, very eye-catching race in the Fred Winter. He was basically tailed off if you go back and watch it after the second last. I don't know if he had like trouble in running or I don't know if he just wasn't in love with the track, but he came home really, really strongly. Was switched, at the last as well. You can definitely mark that race up quite a lot. I just don't think he was. I just don't think he was really quick enough. I don't think his Aintree really suited him. I think very testing ground is going to, really bring this horse into his own now. I think he kind of wants it. I'm not sure how many in this field want it as testing as it's likely going to be. I can see Wendrock being a staying chaser down the line. Really, stamina is going to be his forte, and I think the ground here is going to really play to his strengths. So I'd actually quite fancy Wendrock here to go and win this.
Yeah. I think he's the highest rated in the field as well.
He's the highest rated, yeah. I'm very sweet on him now. I think he's going to take all the beating here. Onto the 315 deck, the Fairyhouse Steel Handicap Hurdle, and not to 140 over 2 mile 5. I feel like I'm going to have to do a lot of defending here.
Well,
I've been defending this horse for months now.
I'm not going to try talk you out of it.
No, I know you're not. So the horse, obviously, anyone that comes, and he probably no more fitting than an Ed Colley horse on top 100.
Is this going to be a wild nap at the top?
It could. Well, there's betting out for. He's only 7-1.
But wild as in, can we trust him? Is this going to be a reckless nap at the top?
This could, you could see this horse pulling a bus coming around the home turn. The horses come walk with me for anyone that mightn't be anybody I'm sure people worked it out pretty quickly. But go on, Dec, why do you like him? And I'll tell you the reasons I like him then, and then the reasons why we probably shouldn't be backing him, but are probably going to back him anyway.
Yeah, but he's probably the best horse in the race, isn't he? He's better than that mark. We feel he's been placed in 3 maidens. He's probably going to handle the ground. My slight concern is that it's his handicap debut, but I just think he's a nice horse, and he's a horse when horses have that much ability, they can win an handicap debut. But you're going to tell us now why he might not win and why he hasn't won any of the maidens.
It's not that he hasn't. He was a major eye catcher on his first ever run at Navan that day. He literally came in on his toes behind Jasmine Defoe with 150 to 1 Joe. He finished 5th. Was backed from 100 to 1 into single figure prices for his second run, was beaten by Sounds Victorious, looked all over the winner that day and was possibly outstayed by him, or maybe it was greenness, I don't know. He started getting a bit of a reputation when he pulled clear, travelling all over Honesty Policy at Navan, and the consensus was he threw the race away that day, but he subsequently travelled all over a horse that won a grade 1 at Aintree, so maybe that's a little bit unfair. And then the same thing happened again. He looked the most likely winner at Naas, travelling all over Redemption Day, who unfortunately subsequently had to be retired, so we don't really know what the form of that race is like. But it is probably worth noting that was Paul Townend's only ride the weekend before the Cheltenham Festival. Redemption Day was back into 8 to 15 from 11 to 10, and they pulled well clear of Harry's Legacy and Canesburg. Well, no surprise they pulled well clear of Canesburg over 2.5 miles.
He was traveling all over both of them.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I think people are being harsh. He's bumped into, at bare minimum, I think he's bumped into 3 nice horses. He's definitely bumped into at least 2. I'm going to include Redemption Day, even though we're never going to see him on the track again. Now, I think I'm not sure if he's a 2 mile 6 is going to be his trip, but I'll trust that Eddie Colley has him right, and it is Eddie Colley at Fairyhouse. You said he'd handle the ground. I'm not 100% sure the ground is going to be what he wants. I think he might want good ground.
Yeah, I think he will be better on good ground, but I think he'll handle it.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll relish it, or I don't think it's what he really wants, but I think he will handle it and probably win in spite of the ground. Yeah.
The scope this horse has is you don't see horses in the mid 120s with the scope this horse has. He hurdles brilliantly. Sometimes he takes chances, but at the same time he is a novice, but he's very efficient. He's very quick over his hurdles. He just isn't, and as I said, people said he's not the strongest of finishers. That may well be true, but when you look at the caliber of horses he's been pulling clear with, I basically can't ignore him, to put it lightly. A few other horses that we've mentioned in previous podcasts in here, Lucky Lyrene, he'd have a chance, especially on this ground, but he's had 3 tough enough races now since the Dublin Racing Festival. Win some, lose some. He'd have a chance as well. Or maybe the ground was a little bit too lively for him at Cheltenham. He was a little bit disappointing there, to be brutally honest, but I could see him going okay. And then obviously Farmer's Lodge, a horse that I've used plenty for form reference in the last few podcasts, mainly with In For The Night, who he beat a few, I think he beat in November. He's probably not done progressing, but he is a 9-year-old now, and he is 9 to 2. So I think there's enough to take him on. And then there's obviously My Way of Thinking, the younger brother of the the younger brother of the Gold Cup winner. I know the way you're thinking out of Sway, so you can't rule him out on testing ground either. So yeah, a competitive race, but it's going to be Come Walk With Me, who I like here, and I think you're the same, Deck, are you?
Yeah, yeah, a reckless snap at the top, I think.
All right, okay. So on to the next race, which is the Grade 2. It's the Rathbarry and Glenview Studs Hurdle over 2.5 miles. As I just pop it up here, the 350. Right, Deck, a few kind of legends of the game in here, and then a few that are just completely caught in purgatory. I don't think I've ever seen 12 runners for this race ever. It's usually a small field, and I do see Maxim in here. They're probably going to try and go from the front. He should have won this race last year. He felt tipped up at the second last, unfortunately. Still ruined that day, but I'd give him a good chance here again. I know horse do you like here, Deck? Eagle Fang, blinkered first time, big price as well.
Yeah.
If you want to maybe speak a little bit about him or any of the other 11 runners in the field.
Yeah, well, look, it's good to see. I'm happy to see Spread Boss Ted back. It's a horse I quite liked last year, and he ran a big race, the Albert Bartlett. He was fourth at a big price, and but he's been off since then, so I wouldn't be taking a chance on him on Monday. Langtree Lady is a horse I love this mare, but she's back hurdling after a poor chase run on Chase debut at Naas in January. She probably didn't get the 3 miles of Punchestown last year, and she was fourth in the mares, but off the back of that run, and the fact that it's this is plan B, I'll probably take her on again. I like the two 5-year-olds, Andy. Eagle Fang, right. I can't not back him at that price. He was beating 13 lengths in the Coral Cup, but he's a 5-year-old, he's got to be still improving. It's a tough ask of a 5-year-old to go and win a Coral Cup. He was 7th in the Grade 1 at Ascot. He wasn't beaten that far. And he was 3rd in the Lismullen. Probably doesn't want the 3 miles at this stage in his career. So coming back to this trip, I think he'd run a nice race. But I think Calaconte might just go and win this.
Right, okay. When you said the 5-year-olds, you might have meant Kopek to me. But
no,
all right, yeah, Calaconte.
Calaconte. I think she's probably just the best horse in the race. She's come from that crop of 5-year-olds that we've waxed lyrical about, and like she like what was she? She was second. I don't think she wants the 2.5 miles around Cheltenham. It's actually 2.5 around Cheltenham, but I think she'll get this trip here. She did not stay the trip at Christmas at Leopardstown, but it's a little bit. I know the ground's going to be heavy, but it's a little bit easier to get a Fairyhouse, the 2.5 miles. So I think she'd be tough to beat. All
right. So Calaconte for Deck. I'm
going
to stick with
disappointed you there.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm going to stick with Maxim. I think this, he should have gone close in the race last year. He does have a penalty. I get that, but he has been largely consistent if you take out that Coral Cup run. And that may well have been the ground. Was very, very quick, and I think the horse probably I don't know if it was to his liking, really. I think soft ground is kind of where he has been at his absolute best. He has won on decent ground as a younger horse, but I think the softer ground these days is kind of what he wants. So I'm going to take a quick chance on Maxim.
Yeah, I just want to say, at the price, I can't not have a little bit on Eagle Fang as well. Yeah. Like way too big to ignore, but yeah, I feel Calaconte's probably the best horse in the race. Right,
fair enough. Calaconte down for Deck, and then it will be Maxim for myself. Right, onto the 420, the Jack McInerney Memorial Fairyhouse Chase at Grade 2. This race hurt my head a little bit, to be honest with you.
I think this is very straightforward.
Oh, really? Well, I'm sticking with Gordon Elliott anyway. That's the 3rd Gordon Elliott horse going to put up, and even though he has the penalty, I'm going to be back and found 50. But look, I imagine everyone's going to go to Heartwood here. Like, he's well clear on the book, and with his 11.4, I'm just not sure what his trip is. Is he tripless?
He's beating a short head in the Drinmore.
I suppose he was. Yeah, I suppose he was.
I think it's fairly straightforward.
But then who wasn't beating a short head in the Drinmore last year? Though?
Yeah, no, that is fair, but he was second in a Ryanair. You know,
He was.
He's bumped into track to foil.
Yeah, but I'm never one to follow Ryanair form in any case. I just don't think he wins as much as he possibly should.
Okay,
maybe that's unfair on the horse. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but like at the same time, he's been beaten over 2.5 miles by Blood Destiny in his career, which I just and I know he was a younger horse that time.
Was that
but like,
France?
No, it was in last year. It was as a novice. It was at Nace in December in a beginner's chase.
Yeah. Was he off?
I imagine he was. Like he was 11-8 to beat him or something. Same price he is there. And Blood Destiny kind of beat him easily, but like you can't trust Blood Destiny as far as you can throw him. And him and Saint Sam in the first
runs in Ireland. Or was it his first run in
Ireland? It could have been his first run after. Oh, no, it wasn't actually, because he was second to Grange Clare West beforehand, so he'd had a run, and then Blood Destiny beat him. And I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit unfair on him, but I've just never been able to warm to him as a horse. And obviously he went on and won the Leopardstown Handicap Chase down at the Dublin Racing Festival, and as you said, second in Drinmore, fourth in Savills. Like he's a good horse. And then obviously second in the Ryanair. I'm just not convinced by him. And I feel like everyone's going to look at this race probably say, oh, this is easy. And he could be one of these casualties on Easter Monday where like he's in everyone's accumulator. Like he looks like the horse that should be 4-7 and I don't know. I'm just not fully sold on him personally. And
he gave £8 to Blood Destiny that day.
He did, yeah. His Blood Destiny was 5, I think.
3.
Yeah, he's getting them. Yeah, the weight for age obviously isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And Blood Destiny would get £8 off him in a handicap. So like he's Blood Destiny now £11 wrong with him.
He's an absolute good thing.
Fair enough. No, I can see where you're coming from and many others are coming from, but I just can't trust him. I'm gonna stick with Found a 50. I've liked him all season. He's carrying an awful lot of weight, but he is rated 161. I thought he ran well for a long way, just wasn't quite quick enough to go in the champion chase, which is completely fair enough.
I suppose a horse that's won the champion chase and the Gold Cup, he's going to come and win this, isn't he? He wins. He hasn't passed the post in both races.
He's won it all in my head, yeah. And he's 11-2 now. He's a lot of weight to carry. I completely acknowledge that, but I do think he probably only has the favourite Heartwood to be. And I know Heartwood is getting what 7-8 pounds off him or something like that. Like it's a big ask for Found a 50, but I'm not gonna ditch him. Like he's already given weight away to nice horses this season at Down Royal. He gave weight away to Solness. Was possibly a bit unlucky not to beat him in the for Tria. So I look, he's had a good season, and I'm going to give him one more chance here. Right, we're going to skip the Irish Grand National deck. We're going to come back to that last. Which we're going to do a runner by runner guide, which we prepared for you guys as well. And we're going to go into the 540, the Envire Green Building Services Handicap Chase. Just before there, that tech actually, I kind of probably jumped off there quick. Did you have any other comments on any of the other runners in the 420, or are you happy just to say this is easy?
Oh, this is
straightforward. No worries. So I probably jumped the gun on you there a little bit. Apologies.
No. I genuinely have nothing else to say.
Fair enough. This is easy. Okay, so the 3 mile handicap chase. Look, I think Folly Master is probably going to be the one to beat here. 7-year-old Keith Donoghue keeps the ride. Very, very progressive. Ground won't be an issue. He's going to be the worthy favourite in my opinion. You could probably give a chance to battle it out on his third in the novice handicap chase at Punchestown last season, but he's been a little bit disappointing since. Is this the plan? Maybe. We'll see. But Deck, do you like any of those two, or is there anything else that's catching your eye here?
Yeah, Folly Master and Union Station.
Right, okay.
Yeah, Folly Master, 1 on heavy. He's 2 from 3 completed starts over fences, definitely on an upward curve. On Union Station, second in the Dublin National. He's up £4 for that, a little bit harsh. But he's handicap chase experience under his belt now, so I'd have it between the two of them. I'd say they're first and second favourite.
I'd imagine so. I'd be confident enough now in Follymaster myself. I think he's a proper, and I'd say like he'd be a horse that you can see in a Tri-Town next year, or even a Thyestes or a Paddy Power Chase, or even an Irish Grand National, a horse for next year. So I think he's a very, very nice horse, and would have a great chance of getting a big win for Tom Draper. Right, the final race then, Deck, is the Leinster Reinforcements in Brazil Piling flat race. We have 9 runners here, probably headed by Shuttle Diplomacy, who was an excellent third in the Champion Bumper at a big price. He obviously sets the standard. Do you think he just goes and wins this, Deck, or is there anything else that's shouting at you?
Maybe Declan Quealy's horse, but I'm not. No, I didn't really look at the race. I'm not really interested in it.
All right,
yeah, the money be rolling down my legs by the time we get to this. I'll have no interest in having it there.
You'd be nearly trying to buy the winner, would you?
I'd be back in the Brinks fan in.
Yeah, oh, very good. Okay, I see Lorna Fowler has one in as well. Tom Harney riding question page. Usually an interesting when Lorna runs one in a bumper. It's usually a nice enough one, 5-year-old mare. So it would be interesting to see how she goes. But I think Shuttle Diplomacy and all sort that, the ones you mentioned there, Deck, they're probably the ones you do need to take a close eye on. I say the Champion Bumper form be all the rage there. So Shuttle Diplomacy, your most likely winner. Right, onto the big one, the main event of Top 100, the main event of the week, the Boyle Sports Irish Grand National over 3.5 miles. So what we have done for this is Deck is taking all the even runners and I'm taking all of the odd runners, and we're going to go through all 30 runners, and we have a little comment on them. Happy to, you don't have to read the comment, Deck, as you probably know. If you want to expand on it a little bit, you're obviously more than welcome to. The top weight is Better Days Ahead, and so anyone obviously on YouTube is going to be able to see a little bit of comments.
Yeah, well, you know what, we're going to we are going to do it up like spotlight comments from one of the trade newspapers, and we'll put it out there. So don't go buy that paper tomorrow. We have it for you for free.
Yeah, buy the Tap Instagram page. I don't even have to buy it; it's free. What I'm talking about, just download Instagram, follow Tap, or take a poll pod. So Better Days Ahead. He's around a 12-1 shot. He's enjoyed an excellent novice chasing campaign. He's top weight, but you can argue he deserves to be based on an excellent third to Lecky Watson in the Broadway at Cheltenham. Not without a chance. Rob James taking off £7. Yeah, lots to like. Definitely couldn't put you off him if around 10 or 12-1 if he tickles your fancy. So that's Better Days Ahead, the top weight. On to you then, next, Deck.
Queen of Bourbon, 148. He was travelling like a travelling thing now, where he was beginning to at Aintree when he was brought down. Very, very unlucky. He will handle the ground. He's only a 6-year-old. He's probably well handicapped off that 148 as well. He's gonna go close.
Paul Townend rides as well, which is a big one, and and it's probably also worth mentioning, Deck, the amount of money that came from at Aintree. We backed into 92, from I think nearly double figure prices. So you'd have to expect a big run there. Number 3 on the card is Johnny Who, beaten favourite in the Kim Muir. A mistake at the second last possibly cost him his chance behind the Paul Nolan horse, Daily Present. I still think he has stamina queries, because he travelled into that almost like, I know the way you're thinking, travelled into it in 2024, and he was outstayed by Daily Present. The ground is going to be a hell of a lot more testing here, and I'm not sure 3.5 miles is going to be Johnny Who's bag. I think stamina is a big question for him here. Number 4 then, Deck.
Bioluminescence off 145. She's been second to Dancing City and Spindleberry. Obviously we think Spindleberry will win the Willowwarm Gold Cup. She's a classy mare, and she's another one with a big chance.
Absolutely. Number 5 is Harry de Ungray. 1 from 3 over fences. One of the least experienced horses in the field. Completely unexposed as a result. But I think his rating of 145 leaves him with a bit of a mountain to climb here on only his 4th chase start. And I think you're better off looking elsewhere.
Duffelcoat in here off 144. Unseated her entry in the Grand National. Might want better ground, but has won some summer nationals.
Yeah, legend. Right, number 7 on the card is your first horse in the race that is not a novice. It's Favori de Chamdeau. He's enjoying a decent season. He's had 2 very good placed efforts before winning a minor event, a 3-runner event last time out. He is blinkered for the first time. I could see him going all right now at a big price. If you wanted to back one each way, I would not put you off Favori de Chamdeau.
Search for Glory in here off 143. One of the beginners at Galway, but struggled in handicaps. Will need to jump better. Could improve if this has been the plan, but definitely needs it.
Number 9 on the card is Sequestered. Career best efforts at Leopardstown at Christmas time and at the Dublin Racing Festival before struggling in the Ultima at Cheltenham. I'd imagine the ground is going to be a big problem for him here. All his form is on good ground, and I think you can look elsewhere.
Desert House hasn't been in the best form over fences of late, but the trainer can get one right for the big day.
He absolutely can. Number 11 for Gavin Cromwell is Malina Girl. Extremely consistent. Trip and ground would be of absolutely no problem to her. She's won over 3 mile 3 at Cheltenham on soft ground. Staying on 3rd in the Ultima last time out was a good prep for this. She's definitely one of the likelier ones in my opinion for this race.
Panda Boy in here at 142, same trainer as Desert House. Last win came and punches down 22. Is hard to see winning on current form, but again, trainer can get one ready.
Yeah, so 2 for Martin Brassel, now 2 for Gavin Cromwell. Number 13 is Yeah Man, a total mudlark, tripping ground. That he could, if this race was 4 miles, would even suit him better. There'd be absolutely no issues with tripping ground. Another one who's blinkered first time. One that you can definitely consider as well at a big price.
Haiti Clare, Welsh Raider, has won 4 of the last 6, including at Cheltenham, and is definitely one of the more likely ones.
Yeah, has a big chance. He's the current favourite for the race. Number 15 then is Now Is the Hour, a horse who raced Tautai Calor last time out. He fell when in contention at the second last. Hard to argue he'd have beaten the Rebecca Curtis horse though. However, the ground has very much come in his favour. This horse relishes very testing ground. I still think he's relatively well treated based on his beginner's chase form, especially behind 3-card Bragg. And he's got a big chance for Gavin Cromwell here.
She could be anything in here of 141. She's been back to form since she's gone chasing. She's actually in the form of her career. She was 3rd in the mares at Cheltenham. She does have a chance if she stays. She's definitely worth a couple of euro at big price.
Interesting. Number 17 then is Sam Jest. Another one who ran into Kim Muir, was a decent 3rd. Ground won't be any issue. Wouldn't be a shock to see him go well. I do think others had better claims, but definitely couldn't put you off him.
And he's second now, 13-year-old. He was second last year. He's been placed at entry. Nobody would begrudge him winning. I think he'd bring the house down now if he could go and win it.
It'd be an unbelievable trying to feed by Ted, wouldn't it? Lord Lariat, your 2022 winner, is number 19. It'd be a big surprise if he can regain his crown. And I don't think soft ground is going to play to his strengths at all.
Was he a surprise winner?
Well, not to you, I suppose. Not to you. But he was a surprise winner of 40 to 1, 50 to 1. But I do know you tipped him and you fancied him, so.
Stuzznikini was pulled up last time out, did win the Troytown, and is only 7, so he could bounce back.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 21 is Tully Begg, a summer chaser who hasn't won since September 2023. Ground has gone on him. Look, no chance. With all due respect, you can look elsewhere.
Daily Present, the horse I'm very fond of. He won the Kim Moore, having been 5th in it the previous year. Aidan Kelly takes off £5. Loads of ability, and I think he's every chance.
Interesting. I've seemed to have gotten every single Gavin Cromwell horse. Number 23 is Mint Boy. No win in 5 chase starts so far. He unseated in the Kim Muir. That would be enough to put me off him here.
Dunboyne, 2 from 2 since joining Ian Dunhu. He's looking back to his best, and his best form definitely gives him a chance for an up-and-coming trainer.
Another horse for Gavin Cromwell, number 25, Final Orders. Good second in the Ulster National. I think he'd be hard to fancy on heavy ground over this trip, with that said.
Calanese would have won the Leinster National only for unseating. He's been left on the same mark. He's been talked up by yourself for a long time, Andy, and is definitely one of the likely winners.
One of the likely winners for sure. Number 27, Bushman's Pass. He's not one of the likely winners. I said that like he's the likely winners. Number 27 is Bushman's Pass. However, he is a winner of 4 of his last 7, including the Leinster National, which we just said maybe a bit fortunate, but he jumped all the fences and was first past the post, so he was the winner. As I said, winner 4 of his last 7. Definitely can't be ruled out. He's in the form of his life.
Moon over Clearman. He's 2 from 23 over jumps. This is a career high mark, and I just think he's going to find it too tough, unfortunately.
Number 29 is Hastings. He's failed to complete in the National Hunt Chase and Scottish National in his last 2 starts. That's hard to inspire any confidence. Look elsewhere.
Noble Birds. He won the last time out. I was getting bored here. He won last time out. He's up £11 for that, and he's probably just going to find it too tough.
So there we go. A spotlight run through of all 30 runners for the Irish Grand National. That was enjoyable. Right, Deck. You've spoken about 15 of the runners, as have I. So have you any further thoughts on the Irish Grand National?
Look, it's a hard one to, it's 30 runners. I think it's a really good race. Like, there's a lot of classy horses up the top, and they're probably well handicapped. It's very hard to ignore Queen of Bourbon. You were talking about winning Grade 1 chases before you even jumped the fence at Christmas.
Yeah.
Kinto Calanese, well handicapped. I'd have it between them. And I have had a couple of euro, and she could be anything as well, because she's just too big a price. You hope she stays, but I'd have it between Queen of Bourbon and Kinto Calanese. Yeah,
I'm struggling to get away from those ones myself. Like when I was studying through the form, Favori de Chamdou he's a horse that you liked, I know, Deck, for quite a long time, especially when he was a novice. And he definitely needs to go this way, I believe. Like he's like all his forms around, like, Punchestown, Fairyhouse, Limerick. He's always struggled around Leopardstown. So keeping him going this way is kind of the key to him. Good third behind Fortune de Fortunata. Good third behind Nick Rocket and the Thyestes. The longer trip should be, kind of fine for him. He fell in the race when only a 14-1 shot last season, although I think he was well beaten at the time. But he's just in better form this time around. So I'm just wondering if a 25-1 is he one that you could have a few quid on. But I completely agree with you, Deck. I think Queen of Bourbon, as I said, I had him backed for the Broadway at the start of the season. I know I think he unseated in that, but like Aintree was no fault of his own, brought down by a stablemate there, and was very, very well backed into 9-2. Is only 6, so could have any amount of improvement in hand. He's one that you have to take seriously. As is Now Is the Hour. Connor Stonewall's taken off the £3. The ground is completely came in his favour now, and that's what I was kind of wondering with Hot Eye Colour. Obviously, all his form is on decent ground. He has won on heavy ground, as I think was a maiden hurdle, but like all his very progressive form, as he started to go up the weights, has been on decent ground, and his latest defeat this season was on soft ground at Newbury. So that would just make you raise a few questions, maybe. I think that will bring Now Is the Hour a hell of a lot closer to him. And then you've got Kinter Calanese, who I think is, Dara O'Keefe ride, and I think he's an absolute fantastic chance. He has 13 lengths to find with better days ahead, based on their Navan run. That was his first run over fences. Although he does get £19 off him for that 13 lengths. So, that's a big swing. I suppose his biggest knock is he possibly threw the race away at Fairyhouse on his next start behind Judicious Allen. Kind of hung at the rail. I'm happy to forgive him that. It wasn't great to see, but I'll give him a pass. He got a rating of 127 after that. Was second then to 3-card Bragg with Captain Cody and Now Is the Hour and Lachlan, who I believe are all rated higher than him now, who finished third, fourth, and fifth. Captain Cody obviously winning the Scottish National. Now Is the Hour falling when in contention. The National Hunt Chasing is a shorter price for him here, and then shorter price than him here, and then Lachlan I think rated 143 over fences. I think somehow I don't know where that rating came from, but that's what he's rated over fences. A lot of horses in that race ended up well handicapped because the handicapper basically took the view that 3-card Bragg didn't run to his mark. It's, looking through the race, it kind of looks like 3-card Bragg did run to his mark, given how well everything in behind him has performed. I'm convinced Kinter Calanese would have won the Leinster National if he stayed up. He's sitting here off 135. Ground shouldn't be a problem. He just looks absolutely dumped in my opinion, off 135. Now, the big problem is that sometimes being very, very well handicapped in a race like the Irish Grand National, you also need luck. There's no two ways about it. But his mark is sitting out like a sore thumb, in my opinion. I have to back him. I will back him. I might have a little bit on Queen of Bourbon if saying here thought he was a grade 1 chaser, but I'm not shying away. It's Kinter Calanese all the way for me, and I'm going to have a nice punt on him. Looking forward to hopefully seeing Thomas Gibney retain his parking spot outside of Fairyhouse. Any other comments then, Deck, about the Grand National?
No, just looking forward to the day, and hopefully see some of our listeners and viewers and say hello, and just looking forward to a good day's racing. Yeah,
couldn't have said it better myself. Any nap at the tap? Is it Kinter Calanese, I suppose, is it?
We look. It's the big race, isn't it? And it's not come walk with me.
I'm not convinced with the ground, but I suppose we can.
Yeah, look, I tell you what, I come walk with me. Hardwood, Carla Conti would be my strongest bets on the card, I'd say.
Right. I think I would be Kinter Calanese for sure.
We'll go with Kinter Calanese for the nap of the top.
Yeah, right. We'll do that, and then we'll go come walk with me for the next best. So I don't think I suppose we both kind of came down on Cool One as well. He's going to be a decent price in the novice hurdle, I'd imagine.
Yeah, sure. We're going to go through the card, so
yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it?
They're basically all naps.
Just back them all. All right, guys. Well, we thank you very much for listening to this and listening to hopefully the 99 other episodes of Take Pull that we put out. And hopefully you listen to the next 100 as well. Thank you very much for listening. Just keep sharing and subscribing, and follow us on Instagram as well on Take a Pull Pod. Until the next time, guys, that was the first 100 episodes of Take a Pull Pod, and all the best, and thank you very much.
Yes.